government and people of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Maldives files written statement at the International Court of Justice on Israel's violations on occupied Palestinian territory. Housing Ministry opens the complaint submission process regarding the revised list of flat recipients.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good evening and welcome to PSM News in English. I'm your host Ahmad Imad and I'll be continuing with the details for this evening's stories. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz extends his heartfelt wishes for prosperity and continued progress of Bosnia and Herzegovina as the nation marks its Independence Day. The President conveyed greetings and good wishes of the government and the people of the Maldives to the Chair of the Presidency Zelka Svijanovic, Chair of the Council of Ministers Bojana Kristo, the government and the people of Bosnia and Herzegovina. In separate messages to the leaders, President Dr. Muiz also extended his personal best wishes for their good health and happiness and for the continued progress and prosperity of the people of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Bosnia and Herzegovina declared independence in 1992. The government of the Maldives files its written statement at the International Court of Justice (ICJ) in the advisory proceedings on the obligations of Israel in relation to the presence and activities of the United Nations, other international organizations and third states, and in relation to the occupied Palestinian territory.
The United Nations General Assembly on 19th December 2024 adopted a resolution in which it requested the ICJ to render an advisory opinion on the obligations of Israel in relation to the presence and activities of the United Nations, UN, other international organizations and third states in and in relation to the occupied Palestinian territory. In particular, the question addresses Israel's obligations to ensure and facilitate the unhindered provision of essential supplies, basic services and humanitarian assistance to the Palestinian civilian population. According to the Attorney General's Office, AGO, the Maldives' written statement examined international humanitarian law and obligations under certain human rights treaties and a special focus on Israel's violation of its obligations in respect to the unhindered provision of water to the Palestinian civilian population. AGO noted that the statement examined the obligations of Israel as a member of the UN in relation to the presence and activities of the United Nations Relief and Work Agency for Palestinian Refugees in the Near East, UNRWA, including Israel's violation of international law in dismantling that vital organization. In the statement, the Maldives condemned the continuous breach of international law and international humanitarian law by Israel, including the illegal act of settlements, expansion, destruction of UN agencies and its relief organizations, and obstruction and attacks on aid workers without any repercussions. These actions not only hinder the provision of basic services and the realization of the basic rights of Palestinians, but also undermine the only path to lasting peace, which is the establishment of the state Palestine based on pre-1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital, it said. The Maldives confirmed its unwavering support for the Palestinian people in their pursuit of their unalienable rights, including an international sovereign state of Palestine based on the pre-1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital.
The Ministry of Construction, Housing and Infrastructure opens the complaint submission process regarding the revised list of Gedorveria scheme's flat recipients.
The former administration, led by the Maldivian Democratic Party MDP, initiated the development of 4,000 flats in Hulumale under the Gedorveria scheme. However, the project remained incomplete at the end of the term. Ahead of the conclusion of then President Ibrahim Mohamed Saleh's term, the government released a final list of flat recipients. However, after a case was filed regarding the list, the Anti-Corruption Commission ACC revealed that only 20% of the listed recipients met eligibility criteria. The discovery by the ACC forced the current administration to conduct a thorough review of the recipients list. Following a review of the list gazetted by the previous government, the current government publicized a revised list identifying both eligible and ineligible applicants on February 27th, while complaints submission has now been opened for the list. The deadline for submission is until the end of March. Housing Ministry said that any complaint regarding any individual on the list can be submitted via email to gatherwaria@infrastructure.gov.mb or by letter to the ministry. The public has been asked to contact the ministry directly for further information on the complaint process. The ministry has decided to proceed with the handover of the flats to the eligible recipients identified on the list. The flats which were originally to be allocated to now ineligible individuals or those who did not meet the required point threshold will not be reassigned to another individual before all complaints submitted within the deadline are addressed. According to the ministry, 1,820 applicants are eligible to receive flats from the 4,000 flats available under the Gatherwaria scheme. Out of the 3,271 people who were on the previous recipient list for 3-bedroom flats, only 1,423 individuals were deemed eligible, scoring above 75 points. For 2-bedroom flats of the 1,423 people previously declared eligible, only 397 individuals qualified, scoring above 73 points.
The Ministry of Health says that the recent regulation change to require advertisement on food and beverages does not include advertisements on social media platforms. The ministry tightened the regulation on food and beverages in the country on 20th February, which mandates food or beverage advertisements to be officially approved through its online Diriti portal. Following some public concerns over the regulation, the ministry in a statement explained that restaurants, cafes and home-based food sellers are free to advertise products and dishes on their menu on social media platforms without approval. However, the ministry said vendors would need to obtain approval if they want to use a caption or description to elevate the product or item to a rival product. The ministry has classified any action or attempt to promote or increase popularity for a particular product as advertisements. Reference to or use of a report issued by a food advertising and food analysis laboratory or a certificate of analysis issued by a referral laboratory or any such document will be subject to penalties, the statement warned. First offense is $649 and the second offense is $6,485, while the third offense is $19,455. Permit for advertisements is issued with a 3-year validity. However, any change to the content of the advertisement would be deemed as a new advertisement and would require a fresh permit. The ministry will charge a non-refundable fee for each submission. Each video or audio advertisement carries a fee of $97, $65 for advertisements without video or audio, and $195 for carbonated drinks or energy drinks advertisements. Barcelona's Mobile World Congress is ready to host its most ambitious edition, with AI implementation on people's life and its regulation as most relevant topics.
GSMA Chief Marketing Officer Lara DeVore told Reuters on February 28 that the conversation has moved from last year to talking about its AI topically to now talking about its implementation and its actual being inside of things. The MWC kicks off on March 3rd and goes through March 6th, but some companies like Honor and Xiaomi will begin to showcase their new products on the sidelines of the fair on March 2nd. GSMA organizers said the 2025 edition is entirely sold out as they expect 101,000 people throughout the week and are expecting an economic benefit for the city of €500 million. GSMA is an association representing more than 750 mobile operators and the organizing body behind MWC. Alongside a suite of new gadgets, companies from around the world will be looking for opportunities to drum up fresh investment and lobby government officials.
Among the ruins of destroyed buildings in Gaza's Rafah, nearly 5,000 Palestinians gather on the first day of Ramadan to break their fast together.
Seated at long tables set among the rubble, families awaited the call to prayer before eating their iftar meals, provided by volunteers determined to bring a sense of normalcy to the holy month. Walid Abdul Wahab, one of the organizers of the group iftar event, said that the event drew joy on people's faces in this destruction under the rubble and debris. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said in a statement he had decided to cease the entry of all the humanitarian aid into Gaza as phase 1 of the hostage deal ends. Hamas said that Netanyahu's decision to halt humanitarian aid into Gaza is a cheap blackmail and a coup on the ceasefire agreement, urging the mediators to compel Israel to end the punitive measures against Gaza. Hamas said Israel's decision to suspend goods shipments into Gaza affects the ceasefire negotiation track, adding that the Palestinian Islamic group does not respond to the pressure.
Police arrest 9 people during a raucous demonstration outside a New York City Tesla dealership, protesting owner Elon Musk's role in sweeping cuts to the federal workforce at the behest of President Donald Trump.
The protest, which police said involved hundreds of people, was one of a wave of Tesla takedown demonstrations staged across the country, targeting billionaire Musk, who is spearheading the Trump administration's so-called Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. Throngs of protesters also descended on the electric vehicle makers' showrooms in Jacksonville, Florida, Tucson, Arizona, and other cities, blocking traffic, chanting and waving signs reading "Burn a Tesla, Save Democracy," and "No Dictators in the USA." Musk, the world's richest person, is leading an unprecedented push to shrink the federal government that has resulted in the firing of thousands of employees and the termination of hundreds of aid contracts and federal leases. Reuters was able to confirm the location of the video from the buildings, bridge, road layout, and street signs seen in the video matched file and satellite imagery. Reuters was able to confirm the date of the videos from original file metadata.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer welcomes President Volodymyr Zelensky at 10 Downing Street on March 1st, a day after the Ukrainian leader's meeting with US President Donald Trump ended in a disastrous public clash in the White House.
Starmer greeted Zelensky with a hug and handshakes as he arrived at the PM's residence. Inside, Zelensky thanked Starmer and the British people for their support.
Very, very welcome here in Downing Street. As you heard from the cheers on the street outside, you have full backing across the United Kingdom. And we stand with you, with Ukraine, for as long as it may take. And I hope you heard some of that cheering in the street. That is the people of the United Kingdom coming out to demonstrate how much they support you, how much they support Ukraine, and our absolute determination to stand with you, unwavering determination, and to achieve what we both want to achieve, which is a lasting peace for Ukraine based on sovereignty and security for Ukraine. So important for Ukraine, so important for Europe, and so important for the United Kingdom. So I'm much looking forward to our discussions here this afternoon. Thank you very much for making the time to come.
In Friday's Oval Office exchange, both Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance accused Zelensky of not acting thankful at all.
With pleasure. Thank you very much, Keir, Mr. Prime Minister, having me here. And really, I saw a lot of people, and I want to thank You, people of the United Kingdom, such big support from the very beginning of this war. Thank you, your team. And I'm very happy that His Majesty the King accepted my meeting tomorrow, and I'm thankful that you organized such a great summit for tomorrow. And we are very happy in Ukraine that they have such strategic partners. We signed with you historic documents.
100-year agreement.
Yeah, we have only with you such documents with the United Kingdom, so we're happy and we count on your support, and really, we're really happy that we have such partners and such friends.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Media.
Zelensky is in London to attend a summit of European leaders on Sunday. Zelensky is also due to visit King Charles, a show of support for the Ukrainian leader.
Australia prevailed past Saudi Arabia on penalties to lift the Under-20 Asian Cup for the first time in their history.
Brighton goalkeeper Stephen Hall provided the heroics with the only save in the shoot cut, clinching a 1-5-1-4 win for the young Socceroos. Australia had taken the lead through a low-driven volley from Perugia's Louis Agosti in the 24th minute, which Saudi goalkeeper Hamed Abdullah Mohammad Yusuf got a hand to but could not stop rolling past him. Three times champion Saudi Arabia drew level on the stroke of half-time after a VAR review. A judged 17-year-old Talal Haji's header had crossed the goal line before Hall caught the ball. Neither side were able to break the stalemate in the second half, and extra time leaving the final to be decided on penalties. After the first 9 were coolly converted, Bassam Hazazi stepped up for Saudi Arabia to try and force sudden death. The Al Nassr's teenage sent his spot kick down the middle, which Hall met with a strong hand to crown the Aussies champions in Shenzhen. Australia joined the Asian Football Confederation in 2006 from the corresponding Oceanian body in search of more competitive football.
Six-time MotoGP champion Marc Marquez made a dream start to life at factory Ducati when he led from lap 1 to the checkered flag to win the sprint at the season-opening Thailand Grand Prix, as his younger brother Alex Marquez came in second. Marquez's new teammate and two-time MotoGP champion Francesco Bagnaia finished third to complete an all Ducati podium.
The Buriram International Circuit pole sitter rocketed off the line as Alex struggled to match his pace and never looked in danger of losing the top spot in the 13-lap sprint. It was just the second time in his career that Marquez had won a sprint, with the first coming at the Aragon MotoGP in August. The 32-year-old Spaniard now leads the championship for the first time since 2019 after collecting 12 points, 3 more than Alex and 5 ahead of Bagnaia in third, and will have the opportunity to stretch the gap further in Sunday's race. Trackhouse's 24-year-old Japanese rider, Ai Ogura, had a promising MotoGP debut, making up 1 place from qualifying to come fourth. Franco Morbidelli was 5th, ahead of Pedro Acosta and Fabio Quartararo. Australian Jack Miller of Prima Pramac Yamaha crashed out at turn 8, having qualified 4th on the grid. Local hero Somkir Chantra finished outside the points in 19th place. In Moto2 qualifying, Spaniard Manuel Gonzalez pipped Celestino Vietti for pole by just 0.036 of a second, with Aaron Senet qualifying third. In Moto3 action, Matteo Bertelle secured his first career pole ahead of Stefano Nepa and Jose Antonio Rueda.
In a bid to boost sales during the holy month of Ramadan, Lai Ghait, a ceramic artisan in Hebron, is reviving his family business by introducing new products and designs.
Ghait crafts plates shaped like crescents and inscribes Ramlan Karim on mugs and dishes at his workshop in Hebron, a city in the Israeli-occupied West Bank. Ghait mentioned that years of instability, including the last year and a half of war in Gaza, have caused sales to dwindle for many ceramic workshops in the region. The 39-year-old family-run pottery business, managed by the Ghait family, called Al Akhawa, has suffered financially due to the economic and political situation in the region. However, Ghait revealed that they have found a market in Arab countries such as the United Arab Emirates and Turkey, to which they are now exporting. Hebron is famous for its unique ceramic and pottery designs, with around 17 factories in the city. The city's colorful handcrafted ceramics attract tourists from around the world. Approximately 75% of the products produced by the Ghaith family business cater to the local market, with the remainder being exported. Ramadan began on March 1st in the Palestinian territories. The year's observance comes amid an Israeli offensive in various parts of the West Bank, which has demolished houses and torn up vital infrastructure in the heavy built-up townships.
And that wraps up the news for this evening. Thank you for tuning into PSM News. We wish you a pleasant evening ahead.
ಬರಕಾತೆರೆ ರಮಲಾನ್ ಮಹುಗೆ ಹೇ ಒಯ್ದುಮಾತ ಹುನಿಯಾ ಟಿವಿ ಬಲ್ಲವಾ ಲೊಬಿತ್ ರೈತುನಂ ಅರಿಸ್ಕುರಂ